wish I was 20 and in love with life and still full of beans. Onward, old legs. There are the long, pale dunes. On the other side, the roses are blooming and finding their labor. No adversity to the spirit. Upward, old legs. There are the roses, and there is the sea shining like a song, like a body I want to touch. Though I'm not 20 and won't be again, but 70 and still in love with life.
Wow.
And still full of beans. Come on, there's so much more in my library. I'm going to take you there.
Okay, come on, let's go. Oh, that's a fabulous library, Jennifer. Are they like sequenced in some order? Or?
Yes. The psychology is here. The cosmology, astrophysics is here. You know, all the great thinkers who write books, and then Siddhartha Mukherjee's books, and these are all Richard Dawkins, and in fact there's more Richard Dawkins, because I have
see your eyes pop up like that when you talk of Richard Dawkins. I get reminded of one thing, you know when they said that books are like good people and they come into your life and you need them the most.
Yes, indeed.
Tell me what has been your go-to?
Oh, Richard Dawkins, especially.
Can you read me
one.
Something from here? That's
absolutely, the Ancestor's Tale. I mean, it's falling apart, but however.
When was this?
2005, I think. Yeah, sometime there. But I'd like to really read you. Gosh, if it doesn't fall apart. So I love this passage. Where he says, the power to imagine as the alien world of a bat or a rhino, a pond skater or a mole, bacterium or a bark beetle, is one of the privileges science grants us when it shows us the wider range of what there is out there for our delight.
Barely did you read it. It's so you internalized.
Engraved in me, yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
People often ask me, what's your favorite book? And I've never had an answer to that question. And that is because my favorite book is in my head. It's an amalgam of all the books I've read, the fine poetry, or even the writings on a blackboard with a colored chalk in a cafe. All that is put in my head. And in that context, Jennifer. Jennifer is a bibliophile. She has to read, research, anything and everything before she starts something, whilst she's in it, and when she's seeking those answers. So Jennifer, you have this storehouse in your head of ideas from whatever you've read. And I remember you made a very profound statement, Jennifer, when you said that it's neither your school nor college, but the books that you read that truly educated you.
So, ideas and conditions of the mind, Anshu, cannot be extemporized, because in order to speak, you have to have something to say. And what is it that will lay a storehouse of ideas in your mind? What do you think will stimulate your thinking powers, or elevate your tastes and give you this rich and varied experience? Reading. So reading trains you, to recognize sentences as units of thought. And silent reading develops habits of intelligent interpretation.
Sure.
So one doesn't read just to improve your vocabulary, but for ideas and conditions of the mind, so that You speak not just from memory or imagination, but with a labor of understanding, so that what you produce is, got something with life in it, and then you're capable of inspiring life. So, there is a story which perhaps I can tell you how reading, saved my life. I was pregnant in 1974, my first child, and we were in Bombay, and I was going to Ashwini Hospital, and the Naval Hospital, and they took my blood test and said, okay, you are O negative and you're going to produce this child who is O positive, and we will have to give you the Rogam injection.
Okay.
So, but don't worry, because we're all equipped to do it. And I didn't have to worry about it. But I will tell you that I did my research. I researched in 2 magazines that always came to the house, which was Time and Newsweek. And all that knowledge and data about this Rogam injection was in those magazines, and which I read. So I equipped myself, because within 1 month I left to go to Nigeria with my husband. And after about 4.5 years, I was pregnant with my second child. And I went to the hospital in Nigeria, and they said, they took my blood, and I told them, I'm O negative. And they said, oh, excuse me, ma'am, but we've done your test and you are not negative, you are O positive. But I had done my reading, I had done my research, and I did not want to let that data go. And I said, no, this flip cannot have happened. So the hospital organized for me to go to a laboratory where this young lab assistant from the Home, he put some little serum on my blood, and he said, look, all this agglutinization of cells, it shows that you're positive. Okay. And I said, no, the clumping together is caused by the surface of the red cells being coated with antibodies. I said, I don't care what's happening, but I know that this flip can't happen. Yeah. And then the gynecologist said, okay, ma'am, listen, you say you are negative, we say you are positive, so give me a clue as to what to do. I said, I'm going home. And they were much relieved. So that I just still believe that the practice of reading saved my life. And my child.
God, can you please tell me, clear the cloud, were you O positive or were you O negative?
No, I'm still negative. I'm still. Yes.
Okay, Jennifer, now, the tables have turned, Jennifer, right? Mm-hmm. And now this once, you are the one who's going to be the provider of that information to other readers as an author of your book, No Half Measures. Now, here's my question. What is it that you want to achieve from your book? What is it that you want this book to do for you, Jennifer?
The book is all about the northeast states of India. It's plants, it's animals, its weather, its geology, the record of its climate and evolution, and its sand and silt is so distinctive. The Brahmaputra is such a mighty river, it's more like a sea.
Yeah.
And in that river, there is this largest river island in the world, Majuli. So through this book, I want to showcase, the Northeast. Do you know that at about 27 degrees north latitude, there is Namdapha, which is a national park. So its surroundings, they are all, it is at that latitude, it is the northernmost lowland evergreen rainforest in the world.
In the world?
In the world. And that exterior landscape, sort of kind of projected onto my inner landscape. And the shape of my mind was affected, the shape and character of my thinking about the Northeast underwent a sea change. And I'm deeply influenced by where on this earth I go and what I touch and the patterns I observe in nature. And that is exactly what I wish to share through this book.
So tell me, Jennifer, were there only good experiences?
No!
Thank you for saying that. It was a honest one. So tell me, how did those bad experiences not deter you from what you were looking for?
Dreaming of hypothetical dangers is not my style. My style is you have got to trust people and stay focused on what you're trying to do. So let me give you a story.
Another one?
Another one. We were going to Rowing.
Okay.
Now Rowing is at the foothills of the Mishmi Hills, and Mishmi Hills was a birding hotspot, and we had to approach it from Assam and get into Arunachal at Rowing. And so when we got there, the guide hopped out of the car.
Were you with somebody?
I was with my client.
Okay. So you knew your client was in a car heading. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
And the guide, he just collected all his papers and forms and everything and got out of the car and went straight to the security guard.
Okay.
And so I thought he'd be back in a couple of minutes, but I found that he was, arguing with the guard, and the guard was just standing there, shaking his head.
Okay,
and
so all negative body language.
Gosh, yes, and
Okay.
I thought, no, this is not good. And the driver, not the driver, the guide, he came back, got into the car, and ordered the driver to turn around. And I stopped him, and I said, no, I'm the guide here. You have to tell me what happened. So he said, okay. He thrust these papers into my face and said, you deal with it, because we can't go.
So papers were not complete?
Yes, there was no authorization for this foreigner, to go into Rowing and spend 2 nights there. And I thought, okay, and my client, who never uses a bad word, he just sat there and he said, this is a royal cock-up. And I thought, oh my gosh, indeed it is.
It's a grave situation now that he's used to.
Yes, yes. So I'm looking down, wondering what I was going to do. I had no idea.
Yeah.
And I just, looked at my bag, and there was this orange in it. I was buying time for my composure, and I oranged the fruit. So I picked it out and I peeled it and then began eating it, and all the while the client, he just muttered and grumbled with disdain and everything. I shut my eyes and my ears and my whole self to him. I didn't worry about the argument that was going on between driver and guide.
I can so visualize the scene, the car, you in a hat, camouflage, and peeling and eating one orange slice.
Yes. And then silently, when I finished eating my orange, I got out of the car and I walked straight towards the guard. The man looked like a gangster. You know, he had removed his shirt
No
and he
way.
scratched this long hair sprouting from his underarm, from his armpits, and he took a quick sniff. And then he readjusted his underwear
No way, Jennifer.
and
stop.
giving himself a good old rub.
I have very good visualization power, and right now I can see everything. Oh, please
You know,
stop,
he reeked of sweat. It poured down from his head.
Yeah.
Now his head sat beneath a flamboyant hairdo. And the hairdo was an invented colour.
Don't say orange! Oh gosh, I know exactly that color that you're talking about.
Then he gathered the Pano beetle juice in his mouth and spat as he saw me coming. I didn't flinch. Thank you for watching this podcast. I'm sure you loved it. And because you did, keep an eye out for the next episode. Of course, the podcast is just to whet your appetite. The real spice is my book, No Half Measures. It's got all of this and then some. The book is trending on Amazon, and when you read it, be sure to leave a review. And because this is YouTube, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Instead, I beamed at him, and in a soft, oh, I hoped was a soothing voice, I asked for his help. I threw open my arms and I said, I have this irascible foreigner with me. Please, just help me. We want to go to the Mishmi Hills to see birds. And he listened to my tale of woe and very pragmatically said, you don't have the proper authorization and you need to spend 2 nights at rowing. So tell your guide that, you could spend 1 night and but not the following night. And I said, yes, but what are we going to do? He said, oh, for that night, 1 kilometer down the road, there is this run-down, sort of house that you could use as alternative accommodation.
Oh, so he actually helped you.
So he helped us. He helped me, and I was not intimidated, number one. I was not intimidated by his appearance, And by the pressure building up in the car with my client and with these 2 men in front, I just used that peeling of the orange to compose myself so that I could focus on the task at hand. And I knew that I had to trust this officer, because he was going to help me.
Wow. Maybe we should title this episode, Jennifer, Peeling of the Orange.
Yeah.
Or the evolution of the orange color in various ways. So what you're saying, Jennifer, is it's actually an amalgamation of on-site, that real-time experience when you're on that site.
Yes.
Married with that patience and I think what I love, I just got onto that one line when you said you did not flinch. So you kept your eye on whatever this ruckus is about.
Yes.
I need to take this gentleman into the jungle and
because
do
even
my
when he
bird
spat,
watching.
it was just spittle. So what? You can wash it off.
Wow. Well, thank you for taking me through this journey along with you, Jennifer. I absolutely love it. And I know that this paragraph from David Attenborough's piece that you talked about to me.
Yes.
Is there?
Would you like me to read it?
Can you please, so we can have a fabulous closure to
Yes.
this orange episode?
Certainly. So David Attenborough, I was introduced to his books in the 80s. And I remember this paragraph so vividly. He says, one way to grasp the main perspectives of environment and biodiversity is to understand the origins and precious nature of a single living form. So, a single manifestation of existence. If one has truly understood a bird, or a leaf, or a cloud, or a frog, one has understood everything. So the quintessence of an animal, a lizard, for example, is only fully understandable in the light of its past. So the lizard's particular possibilities, its limitations, dictated by its reptilian nature, is comprehensible only in the light of its past.
And that you know by reading.
Yes. Yes. So this understanding is undergirded by my reading. So,
I'm having goosebumps as you say that.
so with this comes our most valuable of insights, the ability to perceive the continuity of nature in all its manifestations and to recognize your place in it.
Yes.
Yes.
So I hope whatever you gained by reading, Jennifer, there are many, many more readers now who can gain something similar from the book that they will read now. No half measures. So here's to happy reading and more experiences.
Thank
Jennifer.
you. Thank you, Anshu. Thank you.